In 2013, physicians informed Kris Kristofferson, a musician, songwriter, and actor, about his health condition. They suspected that he had Alzheimer's disease or a similar form of dementia. At that time, the Grammy winner, who was in his 70s, was experiencing severe memory issues. He even started composing a song about it. The song, which was never recorded, began with the lyrics, "I see an empty chair, someone was sitting there, I've got a feeling it was me, and I see a glass of wine, I'm pretty sure it's mine." Kristofferson's friends also observed his declining mental sharpness. For the past 6 or 7 years, there was this slow realization that he was becoming forgetful, stated Chris Gantry, a longtime friend and fellow musician, in an interview with Closer in 2016. It was apparent. Chris alluded to it because he knew something was up. "We all thought it was Alzheimer's or dementia from old age." However, what doctors initially believed to be dementia turned out to be Lyme disease, a tick-borne bacterial illness. Kristofferson's medical treatment has successfully reversed many of his symptoms. Kris Kristofferson, the renowned singer-songwriter and actor, was born in Brownsville, Texas in 1936. Hailing from a family with a strong military background, it seemed likely that he would also pursue a career in the armed forces. However, after attaining the prestigious title of Rhodes Scholar and studying at Oxford University in England, he decided to join the US Army as a helicopter pilot. Rising to the rank of captain, Kristofferson eventually left the military to chase his passion for music full-time. Despite facing numerous challenges, including being disowned by his family and working menial jobs like being a janitor at CBS Records in Nashville, he persevered and found success as a songwriter. Kristofferson's songs became hits for artists like Johnny Cash and Janis Joplin, propelling him to fame by the early 1970s. His talents also caught the attention of Hollywood, leading to a Golden Globe win for his role in A Star Is Born. In addition to his successful music career, Kristofferson was a member of the acclaimed supergroup The Highwaymen, alongside Cash, Waylon Jennings, and Willie Nelson. However, in the early 2000s, health problems began to take a toll on Kristofferson. Kris Kristofferson's health issues began at the start of the 21st century. In 1999, he underwent triple bypass surgery. Subsequently, after appearing in the 2006 film Disappearances, which was shot in the Vermont woods, he was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, a condition characterized by chronic pain. Lisa Kristofferson, the singer's wife of over 40 years, revealed to Lyme Times in 2016 that her husband was suffering from severe, agonizing spasms all over his back and legs. He had painful knees and received annual knee injections, a pacemaker for arrhythmias, which we now know could be due to Lyme disease, and took so much Advil for headaches that he became anemic, she recounted. This was followed by worsening memory issues and a misdiagnosis of Alzheimer's. He was taking all these medications for conditions he didn't have, and they all have side effects, Lisa Kristofferson told Rolling Stone in 2016. Finally, in February 2016, an integrative doctor, suspecting Lyme disease, tested the singer for the illness, which came back positive. Tick bites have the potential to transmit Borrelia bacteria, leading to the development of Lyme disease. This illness commonly manifests with a distinctive bullseye rash at the location of the tick bite. However, the rash may not always be present, resulting in the infected individual being unaware of the situation, as seen in the instance of Kris Kristofferson. If not addressed promptly, Lyme disease can give rise to various symptoms such as arrhythmia, muscle weakness, joint swelling, headaches, and other complications. Moreover, Lyme disease has the capacity to induce neurological issues. According to the Columbia University Irving Medical Center, cognitive impairments may encompass memory difficulties, reduced cognitive processing speed, challenges with word recall, and compromised fine motor skills. In 2022, the CDC documented 63,000 instances of Lyme disease in the nation, although the actual figures could be as high as 476,000 cases annually. Fortunately, the illness can be effectively managed with antibiotics and other therapeutic interventions. In the case of Kris Kristofferson, his medical regimen involved antibiotics and other interventions that successfully alleviated many of his symptoms, despite some lingering memory issues. An anonymous friend of the musician shared with Closer in 2016, Kris has regained his sharpness from 20 years ago thanks to his treatments. His wife, Lisa, and 8 children have noticed a significant transformation in Kris. It truly stands as a remarkable medical breakthrough of our time. Kris Gantry also witnessed the remarkable change in the artist post-treatment for Lyme disease. It's akin to Lazarus rising from the dead and experiencing a rebirth, he remarked. Prior to resuming his tours in 2016, Kristofferson delved back into his old music to aid in memory retention. Fortunately, the songs remain intact, he disclosed to Closer in 2021. The singer-songwriter resumed touring before ultimately retiring during the COVID-19 pandemic. After retiring in 2021, Kris Kristofferson settled into retirement at his Maui home, where he spends his time doing yard work and other activities. "I have a lot of lawn to mow," he shared with Closer that year. "I want to remain right where I am, on an island with no neighbors and 180 degrees of empty horizon. It's a beautiful view." His retirement was not due to his previous medical problems. His health is good, his manager, Tamara Saviano, confirmed. He's enjoying time with his family. Now 87, Kristofferson has slowed down. Kris didn't feel he was up to touring anymore, a source told Radar in September 2023. Now, he just wants to make things easier for his family by turning his holdings into cash that will go to them when he's gone. In August 2023, he listed his Mendocino, California ranch for $17.2 million. The sale, if and when it happens, would add to Kris Kristofferson's already impressive net worth of an estimated $50 million. After leaving the Army in 1965, Kris Kristofferson moved to Nashville to pursue a career in music. He worked various odd jobs to support himself and his son, who had medical expenses due to a defective esophagus. Eventually, Kristofferson's marriage ended in divorce. He found a job sweeping floors at Columbia Recording Studios, where he met June Carter and asked her to pass along a tape of his songs to Johnny Cash. Kristofferson also worked as a commercial helicopter pilot for Petroleum Helicopters International in Louisiana. He would spend time flying helicopters on oil platforms and then return to Nashville to pitch his songs. Some of his most famous songs, like "Help Me Make It Through the Night" and "Me and Bobby McGee," were written during his time in Louisiana. After giving Carter his tapes, Kristofferson famously landed a helicopter in Cash's front yard to get his attention. Cash was impressed by Kristofferson's song "Sunday Morning Coming Down" and decided to record it. In 1970, Kristofferson won Songwriter of the Year at the Country Music Association Awards for that song. Despite the rumored beer and songs in hand arrival, Kristofferson later clarified that it was not quite as dramatic as reported. In 1966, Dave Dudley released Kris Kristofferson's successful single, "Vietnam Blues." Kristofferson signed with Epic Records in 1967 and released a single, Golden Idol Killing Time, which was not as successful. However, his original songs were recorded by various artists including Roy Drew Sky, Billy Walker and Amp, the Tennessee Walkers, Ray Stevens, Jerry Lee Lewis, Farron Young, and Roger Miller. Kristofferson gained popularity as a performer after Johnny Cash introduced him at the Newport Folk Festival. He signed with Monument Records and released his debut album, Kristofferson, in 1970, which was re-released the following year as Me and Amp, Bobby McGee, and became a success. Artists like Ray Price, Gladys Knight and Amp, The Pips, Waylon Jennings, Bobby Bare, Johnny Cash, and Sammy Smith recorded successful versions of his songs in the early 1970s. In 1971, Janis Joplin's posthumous album Pearl included a #1 hit with Kristofferson's Me and Bobby McGee. Other artists like Ray Price, Joe Simon, Bobby Bare, O.C. Smith, Jerry Lee Lewis, Patti Page, and Peggy Little also recorded successful versions of Kristofferson's songs. Kenny Rogers recorded Me and Bobby McGee in 1969 with the first edition. Kristofferson released his second album, The Silver-Tongued Devil and I, in 1971, featuring the song Loving Her Was Easier Than Anything I'll Ever Do Again. This album established his recording artist career. He also made his acting debut in the last movie and appeared at the Isle of Wight Festival. Kristofferson's third album, Border Lord, did not sell well initially, but he won the Country Song of the Year Grammy Award for Help Me Make It Through the Night. His fourth album, Jesus Was a Capricorn, had slow sales initially but became successful with the hit single Why Me, selling over 1 million copies. In 1972, Kristofferson appeared on the Old Grey Whistle Test with Rita Coolidge, performing Help Me Make It Through the Night. Al Green released a version of Kristofferson's For the Good Times on his album I'm Still in Love with You in the same year. Kristofferson's music continued to resonate with audiences in the early 1970s, establishing him as a prominent songwriter and performer in country music. In the 1970s, Kris Kristofferson shifted his focus to acting, appearing in various films such as Cisco Pike, 1972, and Bloom in Love, 1973. He also starred in movies like Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, 1973, and Her Star Is Born, 1976, for which he won a Golden Globe Award. Despite rejecting roles in films like Sorcerer, 1977, and Hanover Street, 1979, his musical career saw a decline with his ninth album not charting well, and the TV movie Freedom Road receiving lukewarm ratings. In 1980, Kristofferson played Sheriff James Averill in the notorious film Heaven's Gate, which was initially a financial disaster but gained critical acclaim later on. He continued to act in movies like Rollover, 1981, The Last Days of Frank and Jesse James, 1986, and Trouble in Mind, 1985. Kristofferson also starred in TV series like America, 1987, and movies such as Millennium, 1989, and Lone Star, 1996. He appeared in films like Fire Down Below, 1997, and took on the role of Abraham Whistler in the Blade series alongside Wesley Snipes. In later years, Kristofferson acted in various films, including Dance With Me, 1998, Payback, 1999, and A Planet of the Apes, 2001. He played the title character in the Norwegian film Johan, the Children Wanderer, and had roles in Dolphin Tale, 2011, and its sequel. Kristofferson also starred in The Joyful Noise, 2012, and Angels Sing, 2013, alongside musicians like Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson. In 2006, he appeared in Disappearances with Genevieve Bujold. Throughout his career, Kristofferson has demonstrated his versatility as a performer, excelling both in music and acting across a wide range of genres and roles. In the early 1970s, Kris Kristofferson found success in singing and later married Rita Coolidge in 1973. They released the album Full Moon, which was a hit with multiple successful singles and Grammy nominations. However, his following album, Spooky Ladies Sideshow, released in 1974, did not perform well commercially, marking a downward trend in his music career. Despite this, artists like Ronnie Milsap and Johnny Duncan continued to cover his songs successfully. Although his unique voice and anti-pop style limited his own audience, his songs were still reaching the top of the charts through other artists like Willie Nelson, who released a successful LP featuring Kristofferson's songs in 1979. In 1979, Kristofferson took part in the Havana Jam Festival in Cuba with various other artists. He later appeared on The Muppet Show with Coolidge in 1979, performing some of their popular songs, before divorcing in 1980. In 1982, Kristofferson collaborated with Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton, and Brenda Lee on The Winning Hand, a successful double album of remastered recordings from the 1960s that reached the top 10 on the US country charts. He married Lisa Mayers and focused on acting, starring in films like The Lost Honor of Catherine Beck, Flashpoint, and Songwriter, for which he received an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Song Score. The album music from Songwriter with Nelson was a hit in the country music scene. Kristofferson, Nelson, Waylon Jennings, and Johnny Cash formed the supergroup The Highwaymen, releasing the acclaimed album Highwaymen and continuing to collaborate. In 1985, Kristofferson appeared in Trouble in Mind and released the politically charged album Repossessed, featuring songs like They Killed Him honoring inspirational figures. He also had a role in the miniseries America depicting life under Soviet control in America.